Kate is saving Harry. The Princess of Wales is empathic. She's governed by emotional empathy for a wide range of people. This shows in the way that she behaves, the way that she has conducted herself. She has both empathic and narcissistic traits, but her empathic traits are stronger. She acts with compassion, caring, the desire to heal and fix. She was once very close to Harry. He, in effect, had a kind of crush on his sister-in-law. And he doubtless looked upon her and thought to himself, I'd love to get somebody like her. Kind, fun, beautiful, elegant, has slotted into this weird family of mine without any difficulty. Wills is a good guy for getting her and a lucky chap. Of course, as we know, Harry was caught by the spider instead. And we all know what then happened. The hitherto excellent relationship that Harry had with his sister-in-law became not only compromised, but non-existent as a consequence of the interference of the spider. It's a simple comparison. Beforehand, excellent relationship. Harry's wife comes along, terrible relationship. Harry forced to take sides invariably to defend his wife, even in circumstances where he might not think that she has behaved appropriately, because if he doesn't, the cost is too great. He ends up being devalued. And as so many intimate partner primary source victims of narcissists say, I just have to go along with what she wants, otherwise my life's not worth living. I just need to keep the peace, please understand this. Harry, led by little Harry, disappeared across over the ocean. But he hasn't stayed in contact as a consequence of the influence of his wife, and also because Catherine over time has recognised that in order to avoid having anything to do with Harry's wife as part of the necessary no-contact regime, this also means cutting Harry out. But according to the Daily Express, there is some kind of lifeline afoot. Princess Kate makes late-night calls to Prince Harry in kind gesture to mend bridges. Whose late-night calls are they? His, whereby it's early morning where she is, or late evening calls for her, and therefore it is in the course of the afternoon for him. First of all, I doubt very much that this has actually happened, and we'll go on to learn more about the circumstances. But I don't believe this is accurate for two reasons. The first, despite the fact that Catherine is empathic, her emotional empathy for Harry will have been reduced as a consequence of his behaviour, that of his wife, and also her understanding, following excellent advice, of the necessity of having next to nothing to do with them. And notwithstanding the fact that she may well feel sorry for him, she also recognises, because of that inner steel, that his behaviour has caused this to be brought upon him, and that he's just going to have to find his own way out of it. I think ultimately that Catherine's loyalty to her husband and her family outweighs any desire to save Harry. Secondly, I just don't see how Harry's wife would countenance such calls. She'll be watching him like a hawk as part of the necessity of asserting control. And if she became aware that Harry was getting calls from the nemesis, she'd want to listen in. She'd either put her ear to the phone or insist that Harry puts it on speaker so that she could hear what was being said. And if Harry is receiving calls from Catherine which are sympathetic, this will of course be viewed as a threat to control by Harry's wife, and thereafter she will forbid Harry from taking any further calls in order to control him. Accordingly, I do not see this as accurate within the understanding of the narcissistic dynamic, the behaviours of the narcissist, and also the way that Catherine would behave. But the Express tells us Kate, Princess of Wales, has made late-night phone calls to her brother-in-law, Prince Harry, in a kind gesture to try and heal the broken relationship between him and his family, a source has claimed. Harry has found himself increasingly isolated in recent years as his bond with King Charles III and Prince William, lies in tatters. The Duke has sparked fury inside the palace by revealing the gory details of private conversations and family moments in his bombshell memoir, Spare, and a succession of TV interviews. And since he and his wife, Harry's wife, and their two young children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, quit the United Kingdom to move to the United States, other friendships have also taken a hit. But according to an insider, Kate has been one of the driving forces inside Buckingham Palace at attempting to reconcile with the estranged royal. Speaking to Closer, the source said, Kate has been in touch with Harry to tell him to keep his chin up and not worry too much about these temporary setbacks. Harry's relationship with Kate has remained intact, and it means an awful lot to Harry that she continues to show support, and especially during desperate times like this, when the chips are down. She feels very sorry for him right now. Seeing him go through all these setbacks is very difficult to witness, and it tugs at her heartstrings, especially as his court trial is taking place so close to their home. However, the source added that despite the pair's late-night calls, William made it very clear that he is not ready to sit down with Harry. Much of the tension emerged after Harry made a series of allegations against the royal family, in particular against William. One claim was that William became embroiled in a physical altercation with his brother. He broke my necklace. While Kate too reportedly made Harry's wife cry just days before her 2018 wedding. The Sussexes have endured a tough time in recent months, with news that their lucrative Spotify deal has been shelved and a snub at the Emmys for their documentary Harry and Harry's Wife. This week it emerged that Harry's page on the royal family's website had been altered to remove the title His Royal Highness, a sign that the Duke of Sussex's stock within the palace was still low. Harry had, up until recently, still been referred to by his HRH title in the bio on the website. Even his work to raise awareness of HIV/AIDS in 2016 was cut short, with the site now saying in 2016 the Duke underwent a public HIV test at Guy's and St Thomas's Hospital to raise awareness. Harry last visited Britain in May, when he joined millions in marking King Charles's coronation. Thus the suggestion that Catherine feels sorry for him, she probably does. But I very much doubt that she has been contacting him for the reasons that I have explained. Instead, might this be some kind of puff piece again from Harry's wife to try and pave the way to reconciliation by suggesting that this is taking place? It's a possibility, although I don't see it necessarily as likely, and instead it's just another piece of speculative journalism. Quick dip below the line, 5 of Wands suggests that this source has been imbibing the same exotic substances as Harry. Judy 5-0, in my opinion, Catherine knows that talking to Harry, as long as Harry's wife is in the picture, is a total waste of time. I agree. You can be sure if Catherine called Harry's wife, would know about it, and she would somehow turn it against Catherine. Absolutely. Ex-Brit in Canada. Ridiculous. Kate has more sense and class than to be calling Harry late at night after what he and Harry's wife have done and said. You honestly think that murky Markle would allow Harry to talk to Kate without her chirping in? Not happening. Again, the very point that I'd made. More Monty Shitshow revelations to try and make it seem as if they're in with the royal family when they're most certainly out. Spring Lamb. Fake news. I suspect the source of this information is called Harry's wife. The wise Princess of Wales is unlikely to have anything to do with the dangerous ex-brother-in-law. Last one standing. What absolute Tommy rot, as if Catherine is going to go out of her way to appease Spare after all he and his toxic wife have said and done about the royal family, and after all her kindness to him in the past too, when he was included so much in whatever she and William were doing, when he was Sam's partner himself. This strikes me as another Scooby-Doo setup on behalf of the gruesome twosome to try and engender some sympathy for them. Nobody's seeing through it, and they agree that it isn't something that has happened. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.